So welcome students to another brand new episode of your homeschooling and digital learning. Today we'll be discussing about notice writing in detail. So these 5 marks of notice writing are really very important. But generally what I find in students, they are really not treating notice and email as one unit. The first mistake that generally the students do, they don't treat email and notice as one unit. Second thing, the target audience. The target audience will be definitely different for notice and email. What you need to do is, whenever you are writing a notice, see that your accuracy level is maintained in every aspect. So let us talk about why do we need to treat notice and email writing as one unit. Our notice and email parts are to be taught as one unit. Why? Because the theme is common to both. It is only the target audience that is different. Your notice will have a different audience, your email will have a different kind of audience. So this is why we need to treat both as equal, because the theme is common, though the target audience is different, but still remember one thing, the theme is common. So if we take an example, we can take a common example like uh, a quiz competition. Got it? So quiz competition, your notice audience will be your school students. Got it? Whereas in email, you might be asked to write to a neighboring school principal requesting him to send a team to participate. So this is where the slight point of difference lies in this particular audience group. So your notice audience will be totally different, your email audience will be totally different, and the theme will be relatively common. So before going much into detail, I would like to just put down few important points. That is, first, don't use any kind of SMS vocabulary here. Got it? The ones that you use for texting your friends over Instagram, WhatsApp, don't use here. It won't work out. Second thing, spelling mistakes. Be very careful with your spellings. Third, punctuation mark. You have to be very accurate with your punctuations. Last point, be very formal and use standard etiquette of your communication language. So your language should be profound, clear and simple. Now another mistake that I have seen students committing, that is usage of English. It's not English, it's Hinglish. Hinglish. Now what is this English? We'll take down a topic like, suppose you have been given a topic, singing competition. Got it? You write there Saregamapa. So that's totally taking or degrading your thinking level. You need to use your mind sharply and take your thought process to another level in order to create a suitable heading or a title of a notice. So I feel the students of 10th standard are very clear with their marking scheme, but still the students who have just come to 8th standard or 9th standard, they won't be having a clear-cut idea about the marking scheme. So I'll be scrolling down the marking scheme here and I'll be explaining you the same. So here's the marking scheme for you people. First we have heading, 1 mark, date, half a mark, time, half a mark, venue, it's hall, auditorium plus location, half plus half. Now I'll be teaching you how to write venue. I'll be telling you the trick over there. Next we have name of the event, 1 mark, for whom, that is your target audience. Okay, now here you will find few things will not come into a systematic order. When you actually write the notice writing, you will not find things going in sequence, like your heading, name of the event, these all will go up and down somewhere, and then you have to frame a proper notice. So I'll be telling you few techniques where you people will not waste more than 5 minutes on your notice writing. Got it? I'll be telling you few universal headings, name of the event, so that you people can immediately apply in your examinations. But remember, we definitely have to follow and fall back on our basics and then work out on the techniques. Got it? I'll be telling you about the name of the event, universal lines that you can write, and it will work out everywhere. So before beginning the entire scenario, there's a small debate over whether to put that notice into a box or not. See, I always prefer and I advise my students to put that notice in a box. Why? It represents your neatness, shows your clarity, easy for the examiner to correct. There's no hard and fast rule that you have to box it, but if you put your notice into a box, it looks neat and presentable. So this is why we leave a line even while writing format of a letter. After the address, leave a line. After the date, leave a line. This is just to make your things very presentable, clear and accurate in front of the examiner. Council, being a child friendly board, will never judge a child whether he or she has boxed the notice, whether he or she has left a line while writing the format of a letter. No, it's not like that. If your format is correct, if your content is accurate, if you have answered all the parts of the question, be it composition, letter, children generally fail to answer all the parts of the question. So if these things you people have done it correctly, you people will definitely be appreciated and awarded. So last week I had given you a notice writing topic. Now let's check out what the topic was and try and solve it out. In this manner or in this procedure, we'll be definitely learning how to write a notice accurately without making any sort of mistake. It should be quick, it should be fast. Before 5 minutes, we need to finish off everything. So this is your notebook, right? And what we will do is we'll just write the notice together. In between, I'll be teaching you the techniques as well as I'll be guiding you where students tend to make mistakes frequently. So this was your notice topic. Your school is organizing an inter-school volleyball tournament. Draft a notice for your school notice board inviting students from classes 8 to 10 to take part in the tournament. So it's about inter-school volleyball tournament. So our first procedure, draw a box and keep it ready. Let's do it. So people can see I have drawn a 3-sided incomplete box. You might ask, why is it so? Now, understand this technique. You people will never know where your notice is going to end because your target audience might take 2 to 3 lines. So you people never know where it will be ending. So it's better we draw 3-sided box at first. Once we finish off writing our target audience, we will just draw the 4th side. Okay. Now step 2 is reading your topic very properly and extracting details out of the same. Now it is inter-school volleyball tournament. Got it? Notice has to be drafted for your school students. Got it? Your target audience is also mentioned here. Now generally we will not find target audience mentioned in the question paper. You yourself have to decide the target audience, but it's good for us that we have got this detail too. But be very careful. The target audience has to be the same as it is in the question. Got it? So first it is for your school notice board. It's a inter-school volleyball tournament for your school students, and the target audience is students from classes 8 to 10. So these are the relevant details that we have got from our question. Now let's give a good catchy title to our notice. So the point is how to get a catchy title instantly. If you want to get a catchy title instantly and you don't want to waste your time in board examination, what you can do is take down few random topics yourself. You need not search over internet. You just think about some topic. Okay, my school can organize a volleyball tournament, my school can organize a singing competition, a debate competition, XYZ. So what you can do is just take down the topic, write a heading, a catchy title for the same. So the more you practice, the more knowledge you fit in here, and you can execute the same in your examination. Next thing, when you write it, do show it to your teacher whether it is correct or what is his or her opinion about that particular title or name of the event or heading. So our topic is inter-school volleyball tournament. First you need to find out what terms you can associate with volleyball, and it should be accurate too. Now see, common mistake, I'll tell you what you will do. You will write smash, correct? It's not smashing. See, slam dunk is related to basketball. Smash or smashing is related to tennis. Here what you do is you spike the ball. It's spiking the ball, got it? What you just do in the action and slap it down, no, that is action of spiking the ball and not smashing the ball, got it? So you should be very accurate with your words. That wordplay should be very accurate, not too much detail, and should be very catchy too. So you also need to find out some other words related to this, like you have a volleyball net, you even have a volleyball court. So these all terms, you need to just frame it down, some catchy words, so that you can write a good title, you can create a good title out of it, and then present it as your title of the notice. But remember, don't write NOTICE, it's totally wrong. Nowhere that word has to be mentioned in the notice, correct? So once you get a catchy title, just write it with a pencil and not pen. I'll tell you why. If I had to create a catchy title for this particular notice, I would have written see you at the court. Got it? See you at the court, in the sense see you at the volleyball court. Or even you can write let's play volleyball. Correct? Now understand one thing, even if it is a cricket competition or a football competition, let's play cricket, let's play football, let's play volleyball. These are the instant catchy titles where you need not to waste any sort of time. Like if you get singing competition at random, let's sing. Dancing competition, let's dance. It's time to dance, it's time to sing. Instant catchy titles you will get with help of this particular technique, got it? So you can make a note, even I'll be giving it to you right now. You can make a note of this particular thing. You write let's play and keep a blank there. Whatever topic comes in, fit in there. Like let's play cricket, let's play football, let's play volleyball, let's play hockey. That's it. See, I'm not telling that the ones who can create a good innovative title, you need to follow this particular technique. But just think about the ones who cannot, or who have been hashtagged as slow learners in the class. We as mentors and teachers, we have to hold their hands and just show them the right way, or make them learn easiest of the techniques, so that they can score good marks in their board examinations. Okay, so it's time to write a notice, the catchy title. I'll write let's play volleyball. So I'll write with a pencil first, as I said you. Let's play volleyball. Oh, got it? So L capital, P capital, V capital. Let's play volleyball. So next we come down to our second line. Just you can leave one line and then you can come down to just describe what this is event all about. So see, in your question you will find entire thing. It's inter-school volleyball tournament. Now few students will have a doubt, like, sir, how to write inter-school? Small I, small s, capital I, small s, what to do? My advice to you people is just see what is there in the question paper, copy the same thing down. Got it? So it's capital I, capital S. Let's write the same thing down with a pen. Now you need to write with a pen. So just leave a line and write inter-school volleyball tournament. Now just add one thing here, that is 2020. Don't just directly copy it down from your question, because it doesn't show your skill, it doesn't show your talent. Just use a smart technique and write 2020 there, and it's done. See, inter-school volleyball tournament 2020. See how I have written? I have just copied down from the question here. See, inter-school as it was written, I have written down here. Volleyball V capital, tournament T capital, and then just added 2020. You can even go for annual inter-school volleyball tournament, or your school's name you can write and just add inter-school volleyball tournament. Got it? So many techniques are there. Just easiest of the techniques I have said you. Just write down from the question and add 2020 or the specified year. Got it? So next is your date. Now 2-3 things that you need to keep in your mind while you write the date. First thing, don't write DATE. Nowhere it has to be mentioned in the notice. Second thing, your date should specify when that event is to be held. Got it? So the next thing is, your examination date is not your event date. Got it? Like, your examination date and the date of your event should not tally at all. It is only in the case of informal formal letter that you write examinations date there. But here you have to keep at least 10 to 15 days gap in between the date of your examination and the date of your event. Got it? Suppose if you are writing your examination on 26th February 2020. Got it? So what will be your notice date? Somewhere around 6th March, 7th March, and you know your spellings has to be accurate. It's FEBRUARY, February. That's what we check while we correct your answer scripts, and MARCH mark. The duration, this accuracy of the spelling should be correct. It's not that you people are going to write somewhere 2 months, 3 months. No, it's not like that. 10 to 15 days is the accurate time of writing a notice date. So the last thing is whether we should punctuate our date or not in case of notice writing. We should not. My advice to you people is we should not punctuate the date in case of notice writing, whereas we have to put a comma in case of letter writing. Got it? When you write the date in letter writing, you need to follow 2 things. First, the date of your examination. Second thing, place a comma there. Next, when you come down to notice writing, if you see the specimen also, clearly it's given notice writing has no punctuation or a comma, whereas a letter writing has that particular thing. So suppose if it is somewhere today 1st of May, got it? So see what I have written, ON on. I'm not writing DATE anywhere. It's ON on, small o, small n, 11th May, MAY, see no comma, and then 2020. Got it? Suppose if today is 1st May, what you can do, you can write just 10 days, taking 10 days, and 11th of May 2020. Got it? See, on 11th May 2020. Nowhere I have written date, ON small, 11th TH here, May 2020. So hope you people have got your date correct. Now we have to shift on to writing our time. Now time, again the same thing. You're not writing TIME there. Got it? You're writing from, FROM, small f ROM. Got it? From. Now the duration has to be calculated very accurately. Now see, suppose if it is a debate competition, you're not going to take 10 to 12 hours there. Got it? 2 hours. And what I advise to my students is, take your school timings. That's the best part. Got it? It might differ in some other event, but generally school related topics, try to keep the school hours, that is 9 to 3. Got it? So for any kind of competition or event, you can take like 2 hours at the max, like 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Got it? But if you're trying to write 12 somewhere, it's not AM, it's not PM, it's noon, NOON. Now understand one more thing. There's a specific pattern of writing AM. It's A dot M dot, and it's not AM. Got it? Only am you write, that means am, I am, and there's no difference between a dot m dot and am. Got it? So it's a dot m dot am, and am is absolutely wrong. So now let's check out how to write our timing. First it's from, from. Got it? Now mention tournament. Maybe if you want 4 hours you can take here, if you want 3 hours you can take here. So 9 dot, see, two ways are there. Either you write like this somewhere, check out, or you write like this, means the same. Got it? So 9, again the same thing, always write a dot m dot. Got it? 2, I want to take 3 hours. Okay, so 12 noon. Got it? If you want to increase the time you can, or if you want to write pm, the same thing, p dot m dot. If you want to write am, it's c, check out, a dot m dot. pm if you want to write, it's p dot m dot. Now it's time to understand how we should write venue. First, venue, don't ever write venue, we need to write at. Got it? Now at has two parts, half plus half, smaller unit to larger unit, always from small to big. Got it? So here it is volleyball tournament, you can write at school volleyball court, comma, your school name, XYZ school, whatever it is. I don't want to mention any school. So it's your school's name and your school's volleyball court. Got it? So first smaller unit, smaller is your volleyball court. Then you come down to a bigger unit, that is your school's name. Where is this volleyball court? This is in your school. So smaller unit to larger unit. Okay. Got it? Next I'll be discussing the common errors that generally students make while writing venue. See, suppose if it's a cricket competition and you write at XYZ hall, you cannot play cricket in a hall. That's where your presence of mind comes into play. Suppose if it is a debate competition, if it is a singing competition, definitely you can write in some hall or auditorium. But cricket, football, think about it and then apply your presence of mind and write the location. So next is our venue. Just leave one line and write at school volleyball court. There's a comma. See, very importantly, there's a comma. It differentiates your smaller unit to larger unit. Comma, your school's name, XYZ school. Now see, I have not mentioned here any school's name. You people should write your own school name here. Got it? At school volleyball court, your school name in detail. Done. Last part is your target audience, whom you are going to target as an audience, or who are the ones who can apply for this particular event. Got it? Now here two things are there, particular audience and the name submission person who will collect the name. Got it? What you can do is you can take 2-3 lines. Very commonly in this particular case your target audience has been given, but generally you will not get your audience. You can write interested students from so and so class may register with such and such person on or before such and such date. Now see, interested students from classes 8 to 10 may register with the principal on or before a certain date. Now see, the date that you have specified for your event, here we have taken 11th May. So your name submission date should be just a day before or 2 days before. Got it? So what you can do is, interested students from classes 8 to 10 may register with the principal or the vice principal on or before 9th May 2020. Again, no comma here. If you want some other kind of thing, all the students or all the pupils who wish to take part in this event may give their names to their respective class teachers, or you can even write, may submit their names to the school head boy. As in, according to the topic, you have to change your audience. Okay, just check out what I have written here. Interested students from classes 8 to 10 may register with the principal on or before 9th May 2020. Two things: interested spelling should be accurate. Second, even in the council specimen and pupil analysis, it was clearly mentioned principal spelling should be very clear. Got it? Next, see, our event date is on 11th May 2020. Name submission date is 9th May 2020 without a comma. Next, target audience 8 to 10 with the principal. Understood? Now, next important thing, you remember I said you to write this down with pencil first. Now you're going to ink it down. Don't forget to ink it. Got it? Why I said you? Because you might get an innovative title later on. You might feel that no, this title is more innovative than that. Then what you're going to do? You're not going to scribble here everything down and then again write something. No. So better you write this particular thing with a pencil at first and then ink it down later on. But don't forget to ink it down. Got it? You have to ink it down at any cost here. Okay, so now I have inked it down and just we need to erase this thing off. And I have drawn this fourth side of the box. So our notice is complete. Let's quickly check out our marking scheme. You've got 1 mark here. You've got 1 mark here. Half. Then you have half plus half here and 1. If everything is correct, you will get total 5 out of 5. Correct? Always target for 5 out of 5. So what I would like to tell you is, first cover your 4 marks. I generally find students wasting a lot of time thinking about the heading or a catchy title. What you can do, first leave that slot completely blank. Or if you have got something temporary, just write it down with a pencil as I narrated you in the video. Second thing, your second line, third line, that is your date, time, venue will be same in 99% of the cases. Target audience, if you talk about target audience, that too remains same in 90% of the cases. Only when you have asked something, the social related topic like you have Teachers' Day celebration, you have Children's Day celebration, that time you need to think. But target audience is in your hand. You people can just change the audience. What I would like to suggest you, first, if you have got a temporary catchy title, place it down with a pencil over there or leave that slot, but remember you have to write that at the end. Second line, inter-school, inter-class, whatever it is, you people can just write it down according to the topic. You can change it. Suppose if it is inter-class cricket tournament or inter-school cricket tournament or inter-school basketball tournament, according to the topic you can shift it down. Second thing, date, time, venue, almost it's same. You know the pattern how to write, you just need to go in and fit it. Target audience, you need to know the difference between inviting someone, asking someone to submit their names to somebody. Correct? So these are the things. First try and cover your 4 marks. Later on you can think about that catchy title. Instead of wasting your time at the beginning, you can think about it at the end. So that was all about your notice writing. Hope your doubts are cleared. One more thing before I sign off. If you don't find any suitable topic or a title for your heading, if it is school related, write attention students exclamation mark ATTENTION STUDENTS A capital S capital exclamation mark and come back. It's absolutely correct. If you talk about innovation with the same word, if it is an event, if it is a competition, you can go for attention cricketers, attention singers, attention dancers, attention footballers and so on. It's all about your presence of mind and nothing else.